Welcome to the Cluttered Corner. I'm Chelsea. Today is day 18 of Inktober. The word is drive. I just found that out. I actually started recording before finding it out and then was like, wait, I don't know the word. I am finding them out each day because in past years when I have looked at the list, I have been so underwhelmed that I have just not done it. And I could have done a different list, but I just wanted to do this one. Oh no, my camera battery is already showing orange. That might be a problem. Let's do this fast. Drive. And I did some pen maintenance yesterday. I put ink in this. Fixed up my fountain pen. It still had ink. It just, I don't know, it was clogged or something. Okay. I paused. I plugged my camera in. Hopefully it won't get too hot. Alright. Drive. I'm gonna draw, let's see. Oh, look at that. See, replace the ink. It's all, there's maybe too much ink now. This is a drive. Up to this beautiful mansion. Or maybe it's a castle. We'll see how it goes. Oh, look, it is a castle. It is. Little turrets. Or that's not a turret. It's just a tower. You want a turret? I'll draw a turret. It looks like this. Okay. We'll try and give it some... what's that word? Geometry? 3D-ness? You know what I'm talking about. Okay. Now this castle is going to have a door. Like that. So people get in. It would have a drawbridge, but there's no moat. So it doesn't need a drawbridge. And maybe when they were building this, they wanted it to be different. They didn't want to put a drawbridge like all the other castles. They wanted to just have these doors that you could drive through, because this is more of a modern castle. Let's put these like murder windows in here. You know what I'm talking about. The ones where they would shoot arrows through. Can't remember what they're called. I think they are just called murder windows. Probably not, but maybe. Murder slots? Murder slots? That's not right. Anyway. Let's see. This hill can go like that. And let's make it overlooking the sea. Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. There's waves. That's the sound of the waves breaking on the shore. And here I'm going to put like a tree. So there's like some landscaping going on. And now, put some little clouds here. Some little birds in the background flying. Yesterday, could really hear some seagulls outside. And I was thinking how, if that was on the video, you might think I live like by the seaside. But I don't. I live by a parking lot. And that's... I mean, we do live in an area with seagulls. So, I mean, you know, it's not like completely not, like, well, I mean, we're not by the ocean. Like, not at all. But, I don't know. They come inland, you know, a fair amount. I don't know what it's like living in, like the middle of the country or something. Maybe there's not seagulls. But here, we got seagulls, we got crows. And they're always, like, fighting in the parking lot. Over stuff, you know. They'll get into some squabbles. I'm drawing this part here. This is another tower. And this is like a courtyard here. Can't really see what's in it. But, you know, this is kind of a slapdash castle. But we can just make some assumptions about it. We can assume that because it's stylized, that maybe there's like, it's better. It's better if it was in detail, you know? Whoa, okay. Let's see. I feel like there needs to be something over here, but I don't know what it is yet, so we're going to focus on this. What would go here? What would go anywhere? I don't think it's done. I think it's got a lot of open space, and that's not bad necessarily, but I don't think that's what I want. So I would really like, If there was maybe... Well, I drew the sea right here. What... Can I draw an island or something back here? Like, where is that going to? I guess this is fine. This makes sense. Get out of the way, paintbrush. It's not your turn yet. And back here, maybe just the sun. With those lines there. Yeah, it's a beautiful morning. And this castle. It's a beautiful morning on Puffin Rock. I feel like here, I don't know. Maybe someone's just like left their bike like outside the castle where they live. A little bicycle. And someone's gonna be in trouble for that. You know it. You know they are. For leaving that bike out in front of the castle. But maybe they got home late, you know, maybe the castle closed. But then where did they go? Let's put some footprints leading away. So when we try and solve this mystery, we have something to go from. So someone can be like, what? What happened? Why did they abandon their bike? Where did they go? We don't know. We have no idea. Try and draw some little like hints that there's grass. These grass blades are a little bit giant compared to like how big the bike and the castle and stuff are. We'll just have to use our imaginations. So, it looks like they went this way. They didn't go towards the sea. So they're probably not like in the water, you know? They're probably not dead. And it looks like they went of their own accord. There's only one set of footprints. So there's not a murderer. Unless the murderer carried them. That's a twist. Okay, well, we're not going to solve the mystery right now. We can't. But we can speculate. Now, do you think there's anything else? Let's draw a little bunny. I don't know if it's going to be to scale. But, you know, that's okay. As long as we can tell it's a bunny and it's not, like, too giant. I think that's fine. See, it's just out here living its life. It doesn't know anything about mysterious bicycles and disappearances. It's just out here having some silflay. Okay. Put this away. No, you know what? Bird. Right here. I don't know if you can hear that. There's a crow outside right now. Talking. You probably can't hear it, but it's out there. It's being kind of loud. Okay, got it. Now, let's put that away. But yeah, I cleaned out my fountain pen yesterday, and I refilled it. I could have probably saved the ink that was in it, but I just wasn't sure what was going on. But I cleaned it out, now it works, and I refilled my brush pen. Brush pen really doesn't take very much maintenance. It just needs refilling every once in a while. And it's pretty easy to refill. You gotta get the platinum converter for it. I'll put a link in the description just in case. You might want to go like look up a video about it. That's what I did. Because, you know, it's not officially refillable, but the platinum converter fits it. And so then you can refill it just fine. And it works fine. And you don't have to like take it off or anything. It's got like a vacuum puller. Well, you know, you gotta twist it and whatever. Just look it up if you're interested. You'll figure it out. Now, I know the sun's yellow, so I'm painting it first. Let's see. I want like a deeper yellow. So, I've been talking about planners lately. So, I've been watching some YouTube videos about planners. That's probably going to be my life until January. And I'm here for it. So, I've been looking at happy planners. I watched somebody put together like a Franken planner. And I've watched people do that before. But this time I'm watching it with new eyes. Because I'm like, is that what I want? Is that what I want for myself? It might be. Because, I don't know. I was thinking, because happy planners, if you don't know, happy planners have like these discs. So you can like, you can change the paper. It's not, it's kind of like being spiral bound, but it's not, because like they just have like, you know, like there's like a cutout in the paper that connects to the disc. So like they'll stay in place, but you can also just kind of pull them out and change them around. And that that could be cool. I'm not much one for like spiral things. I don't like how spirals and discs like kind of get in the way. You know, it's hard to put them on a shelf. But I have been more open to spiral bound things lately. And it's not the end of the world. So it's really possible that I would like that. And I could change it around and I could add pages where I want. Because part of the problem with like the Passion Planner or any like just, you know, non-spiral bound, you know, like already bound planner is that like you can't change the pages around. And sometimes you kind of need to. Or it would just be nice to. So like with the Passion Planner, I like to have my monthly plans, but then I have like plans. My plans are not real plans. They're basically just here's what happened today, or you know, but I also like to keep track of like what was I watching, what was I reading, what was I playing, because it's fun to look back on because I feel like that is like that's the month, you know. Oh yeah, that month when I was playing this game, you know. So I like to have that. But there's no space for that there. So I put that in the back, like where the notes are. And that's okay, but it would be cool if it was like something I could put closer up, you know, like in the month. And I could do that with that. Also, I don't like, I mentioned this before, I don't like how the spreads are where there's like a monthly, or the weekly spreads, it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then there's like the hours. I don't need that. And I don't like seeing the hours. I like to cover those up, but I get bored of it. I get bored of doing the same things. And then also, the planner gets chunky in the same spots. Like, so it's like, oh, every week you're covering up this spot. So like this part of the planner will be bulky and then the rest of it's not. It's kind of uneven. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Passion Planner. It's a good planner. I just feel like I'm bored with it. You know, I've done it. And I want to change things up. And I think, I don't know, maybe Happy Planner is it. Maybe not. Maybe I want to get like one of those, I think it's like, what is that place called? The planner is called, I think, Reverie. And it's like, it's a bullet journal, but it's on like watercolor paper. And then you can like paint your own. And that could be cool. I could get into that. But then you have to paint your own, you know? You have to come back every month and do that. And sometimes that's fun, but can I commit to it? I don't know. And then like with the Happy Planner though, you can get it pre-decorated, you know, like you can get it in a theme. And then you can, I think there's room for stickers. There's room for some stuff, you know. And you can get it, you know, you can get it in different themes and you can mix and match because you can like Frankenplan and like just change it up. And I was watching a video today where somebody was doing a Frankenplan and they put in like daily pages and I was like, I like a daily page. See, I don't like an hourly thing, but I do like a, you know, here's a Monday. Like you could put lists, you could just write about here's what happened. You can, you know, say like, here's what I'm trying to accomplish today. And I think that could really work for me. But I don't know. Because another thing I have to ask myself is, what do I even want from this, you know? I do want memory keeping. I guess what I really want is the feeling that I have something to plan. I want to feel like my life is going somewhere. And the problem is, a planner can't actually provide that. And when I do feel like that's happening in my life, I don't know if it's because of a planner. But, you know, I do feel like it has helped me to have planners the last couple of years. Sometimes in obvious ways, sometimes in ways I think that are more subtle. And it just kind of helps to have that to like touch base on, you know, to be like, well, you know, I talk about light accountability. I like having light accountability for stuff that I'm trying to do. And that really helps. And especially if it is like something that can just be memory keeping, because then if it's just about making plans, I'm not a busy enough person. I don't have plans. Like, I don't have outside plans. I don't have to meet anybody or do anything. So, there's nothing for me to keep track of as far as that goes. But like, my plans are more creative, I want to be making stuff. But I kind of just make stuff, or it's like things that are not scheduled things, like, oh, here's just some knitting I'm doing or whatever. And I don't know how much I would want to be scheduling anything like that, but maybe. So, a lot of it is memory keeping for me, but I would like to have more, I don't know, not necessarily scheduling, because also when I schedule things, then I don't want to do them. Like with Duolingo, I will practice language every day for hours until that owl is like, hey, you should be practicing French right now. No. Once it's his idea, I'm not going to do it. So, I feel sometimes like trying to plan stuff is a bit like that, where if it's like, if I'm just doing it because I like it, then that's great. But if I'm doing it because I said I have to, or because it's like, oh, every day you do this. I mean, obviously this I'm doing every day. Didn't write it down though. Didn't need to write it down. But also I'm like, if I had written it down, would I be upset? Would I be like, oh, I don't want to do that? I don't think so. And I like the idea of planning things out and having it be like, oh, this is going to be cool. Everybody's going to love this. This is going to be fun. But I just don't know. And it's one of those things like you can't really know until you do it. And this is part of why I haven't started my heroes journal, because like I said, I'm worried that if I start writing the things down, that'll make me not want to do them. And then I'll feel like I failed. And the whole point of that journal is to not feel like you're failing. And I mean, I don't think there's any journal where the point is to feel like you're failing. That seems counterproductive. Like, what would somebody get out of that, So, the search for the perfect planner continues. And I know there's no perfect planner. Or maybe the perfect planner is just, the one that you actually use. But, like, it's hard to know ahead of time sometimes. Like, what am I going to use? I got to make a list of what I want it to be. And the thing is, like I was saying, I feel like the perfect planner is just in my brain, if that makes sense. It doesn't make sense, but, like, it is like, I don't know. Like, I'm either doing stuff or I'm not. But at the same time, I do feel like having plans and having the slight accountability has made things better for me. I don't know if I want to say more productive. I don't want to put pressure on productivity, because that hasn't necessarily been my goal the past few years. It has a little bit, but it's got to be like smaller goals that, well, not necessarily smaller, but things that I do feel like I can attain. And Sarah Cannon talks a lot about that on her channel, Heart Breathings. I know I talk a lot about her, but her channel's amazing, and her mindset on goals and planning has, like, really changed my life for the better, even if I don't always, like, plan things out, just feeling, because her thing is basically, like, if you're making too many goals and you're not going to be able to achieve them, then you're just going to feel bad, and it's better to feel good about, like, it's better to set smaller goals and achieve them, because then you feel good about it, than it is to have too much and then not actually do it, and then you feel bad. And I 100% agree with that. And I have sort of, I guess, tested it out. I don't know. I have, last year I achieved my goals. I only had 3 goals. It was more than I had achieved the year before, but, like, in a manageable way, where it wasn't, like, a lot more than I'd done the year before, but it was, like, some. And my productivity has been very limited due to, like, autoimmune problems and pain and things and stuff that is getting a lot better. But, you know, it's not all the way better. And my life is still, you know, it's still a bit unpredictable, like what I can do or not. So I try to keep things, you know, low pressure and not too much on my plate. And that, I was able to do those things, and that felt great. Even if they're small things, or they're not like, I mean, they weren't that small, but, you know, like, even if they're not, like, giant goals, it feels good, like, to have achieved them. And if I had made too many goals, or asked too much of myself, then, even if I had technically achieved more than I did last year, I would have not felt as good about it. And I ended up doing more than those goals last year, just because I felt good, you know? I felt good from, like, you know, doing that. And the thing is, you gotta be nice to yourself. You will catch more productivity flies with honey than with vinegar. So, you know, and in the short term, it might seem like being mean to yourself is the right thing, or that you're, like, proving something. I don't know. These are things I've struggled with. But I think in the long term, it's not helpful. So, be nice to yourself and set attainable goals. And attainable goals, they kind of have to be stuff that you can, like, measure, and that's also tough. Because the goals that I want the most are things that I can't necessarily control or measure, or, you know. So, I think also trying to make sure that you are finding goals that are attainable and measurable and things that you can actually, like, take action on, that also does help a lot. Just because it's like, well, then you do have something to, like, realizing that some of those goals you might have are things that you don't have control of, and that maybe they're things you might want, but they're not necessarily like, this is your goal. I think that's helpful too. So, like, if I'm like, I want to, I don't know, let's say I want to sell 1 million books this year or something. That's not going to happen. That's not even remotely realistic. It's just an example. You know, that's maybe something I can work towards, but, and that is measurable. But I also feel like that's not something I have, like, control over. Not in the same way as if I was like, I'm going to write 2 books this year. You know, that's something I can, like, work towards. And maybe some people are better at marketing and things, and they can be like, no, I feel like selling 1 million books is an attainable goal to try for, or, like, there's actions I can take towards it. And that's great. But I feel like, for me, I don't know, anything that involves other people is not a good goal for me. It's not something, not to say, like, it can't involve other people, like, you know, but just as far as, like, taking the action or achieving the thing, if it's something that is dependent on, like, well, yeah, but people have to actually, like, buy my book or something, well, I don't really feel like I can control that, you know. You can encourage it, but controlling it is a different story. So for me, I feel like those kind of goals, I don't know, I see people do, like, business plans or, like, 5-year plans as, like, an author, and I made one once when I was first, like, published, and I think I sent it to my agent. I don't know if she ever looked at it. I hope not. Because I have looked at it since and been like, this is so stupid. I don't even remember what it says, but it's just like, what are you supposed to put for stuff like that? If you know the answer, let me know. But, because I would love to be somebody who could make a plan like that and have it be real. But it's also just like, I don't know. Like, so much of it feels out of my control that I'm not even sure how you're supposed to make, like, a real plan for that. Like, well, it's more like hopes, I guess. I hope to have success in this way, but I don't know. And I also feel like it's very hard for me to guarantee that I can even do certain types of work. which is also tough, you know, but that's at least something that I can work on. I have a real hard time with any kind of activity that involves like if I was an actor or something, which I'm not, definitely not. But if I was, it would be very frustrating to me that I could only act like in certain situations, or like when people allow you to be in a play, or you know, that kind of thing. And I guess you can kind of practice at home, but I don't know. I feel like things like that that are limiting, I don't know. I have trouble with that. I need things that I can just do, like writing. You can do that anytime, and even if nobody publishes it, or if you don't publish it, or you don't like it, it's still something that you can like just do, and you know, you don't need anybody else's permission to do it. I'm really liking how this water is turning out. We'll see how it looks when it dries, but right now I think it looks great. I had a little mishap here, as you probably watched, but I fixed it, I think. Good enough anyway. I'm gonna add some more dark color back here. I think this painting is almost done. So, let's see. What was I talking about? I don't know. I just feel like creative goals are tough, and maybe this isn't a thing for other people so much, but for me at least, like with writing, it's really hard for me to say like, oh, I could write this much every day, or I could, you know, write this many books. Like, I don't know. Because it really depends. It really depends on how much I get stuck, or how I'm feeling. And I know health problems, they really throw a wrench into there. So maybe for people who don't, it's not as much of a thing. I don't know. I'm trying to think, like when I was younger and I didn't have so many problems, I feel like then I had different problems. Like, I don't know, sometimes it's just really hard for me. And if my brain doesn't latch on to anything, like if it's not like obsessed with a project, I have trouble. Now, I do feel like I've gotten better about that, but also, I don't know, I feel like it's easier for me to write things that are more visual. So like things that involve scripts, like a graphic novel or a picture book or a screenplay. Those are great, and they don't have any of the parts that I don't like writing, which is basically all the transitions and stuff. Or, you know, and you still gotta write descriptions, but it's different. So, I don't know. But I also feel more excited about things that I feel like are gonna go somewhere. And that may or may not be true, but as long as I feel like it is, and as long as I feel like there's something to do with it once I'm done, you know, and that, like, that it will, I don't know if finding an audience is right, but something like that, I guess. I don't know. That it will have some value. And obviously the things have value to me, and I don't want to say, oh, they only have value if they also have value to other people. But I do want to say that I struggle when there are feelings that there's nothing I can do with it when it's done. Or that like, oh, if I publish it, no one will read it, or whatever. You know, as long as that's like unknown, I can imagine it being like, oh, it's going to do great. And sometimes it does. But then once it starts to be like, it's not really, you know, then I have trouble feeling motivated. And I don't know. I struggle with that a lot. I think about that a lot. And I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words right now. Especially because I'm done and it's time to go. I left this rabbit white because I think if I had painted it, it would have just blended into the background. This bicycle blends in a little bit, but whatever. We don't know. We still don't know what happened to the person who got off this bicycle last night. But, you know, everyone's just going to be waking up and seeing that this happened, and they're going to be worrying, and are they going to find this person? We don't know. So, let me know what you think happened to them. That's it for today. This is day 18, and it was Drive. This is the Drive. It's there's not even cars in this world, I guess. Well, there's a bicycle. Like I said, it's modern. It's modern. So, yes, there's driving. That's it for today. Like and subscribe. Come back for more. I got videos like this from this whole month. So there's plenty more where this came from. And I will see you next time on The Cluttered Corner. Oh, wait, crud. You didn't tell me the word.